How did an American Airlines plane and a Black Hawk helicopter end up in a tragic crash while the plane was attempting to land on runway 33? In the videos ahead, we'll take a closer look at the final hours leading up to the crash. The confusion between the PAT-25 VIP military helicopter and the air traffic controller, and how the rescue operation is being carried out. More details all in the video ahead. The plane had departed from Wichita Dwight D. Eisenhower National Airport in Kansas earlier that evening. A PSA Airlines aircraft, operated under American Airlines identified as Flight AA5342, collided midair with a military Black Hawk helicopter at approximately 9 p.m. on Wednesday, January 29, 2025. The tragic incident occurred as the plane was making its final approach toward Reagan Washington National Airport in Arlington, Virginia. American Airlines confirmed that 64 people were aboard the jet, 60 passengers and 4 crew members, while 3 soldiers were aboard the military helicopter. This plane's radio transponders stopped transmitting about 2,400 feet, which is around 730 meters short of the runway, roughly over the middle of the river. This has marked the first major U.S. commercial crash in more than 15 years. From an aerial perspective, it is evident that Flight AA5342 was approaching the airport from the south, descending over the scenic Potomac River. This area is known for its proximity to several iconic landmarks, such as the Pentagon, located nearby in Pentagon City. To the north, one can spot the striking dome of the United States Capitol building, a symbol of American democracy. The Potomac River, which encircles the airport and much of Arlington, serves as a natural boundary and offers breathtaking views for arriving flights. However, this area is also densely trafficked, both by air and on the ground, adding to the complexity of air traffic management in the region. American Airlines Flight 5342, which we'll refer to as the landing flight, was on its final approach to runway 33. At this stage, called short final, the aircraft was mere moments from landing, flying at an altitude of about 400 feet. This is the most critical phase of landing, where every second counts and pilots are laser-focused on safely bringing the plane down. At the same time, an Army Black Hawk helicopter, identified as PAT-25, was reportedly on a possible training flight. It was flying perpendicular to the flight path of Flight 5342, following the course of the Potomac River. The Potomac River is a designated flight corridor for helicopters, and it's common to see aircraft like this operating in the area. The key difference between the two aircraft in this scenario was their operating rules. The Black Hawk helicopter, PAT-25, was flying under visual flight rules. This means it was required to rely on visual observation of the surroundings to avoid other aircraft. The landing flight 5342 was operating under instrument flight rules, which give it priority over VFR flights in controlled airspace. This system assumes that VFR aircraft will actively maintain visual separation to avoid conflicts. Moments before the collision, the air traffic control tower at Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport called PAT-25 to confirm whether they had the other aircraft in sight. PAT-25 responded that they did. At first glance, this seems like an acknowledgement that they were aware of Flight 5342's presence and were taking steps to avoid it. However, it now seems likely that PAT-25 had mistakenly identified a different aircraft, possibly a departing flight from the same airport, and believed that was the other aircraft referred to by the tower. Tragically, PAT-25 may not have realized that Flight 5342 was descending directly into its path. This misidentification could have led to the Black Hawk failing to adjust its course in time to avoid a collision. Although not a pilot, this is what appears to have happened based on the available information. It's a heartbreaking incident that raises questions about how such misunderstandings can occur and what safety measures can prevent them in the future. If you have more insight or expertise, please feel free to share your thoughts in the comments. The passenger plane broke into multiple pieces and sank several feet into the river. Meanwhile, the helicopter ended up landing upside down on the water. Regarding the rescue mission, the main challenge is access. The water they're working in is about 8 feet deep, which is roughly 2.5 meters. On top of that, the conditions are tough. There's strong wind, chunks of ice floating around, which obstructs rescue workers. We also have audio from air traffic control that has been published online, capturing the moments as the two aircraft approach each other. In the recording, we can hear a conversation. It appears to involve the air traffic controller, with P standing for priority air transport, the helicopter, and CRJ referring to the passenger plane. The response seems to come from a helicopter, but something goes terribly wrong.
This cloud has an aircraft inside Chris.
Pat 25 is heard during the following communication with Tower. Let's listen to full audio.
Tower 5342 on Mount Vernon visual, runway 1.
Blue Chief 5342, Washington Tower 1 star 32017, gust 25. Can you take runway 33?
Yeah, we can do 33 for Blue 5342.
Blue Chief 5342, at the Wilson Bridge, change to turn for runway 33, clear to land.
Change to runway 33 for land, Blue 5342.
Jet 789, 1 star 32015, gust 25, traffic 2 out, no delay, runway 1 clear for takeoff.
Takeoff, runway 1, no delay.
Washington Tower, American 3130 with you, runway 1.
American 3130, Washington Tower 1 star 31014, gust 25, runway 1 clear to land. Traffic may depart prior to arrival.
Okay, clear to land, runway 1, American 3130.
Jet 789, contact Sun Parks, good day.
Okay.
American 3130, slow the funnel.
Slow in American 3130.
Pass 25, traffic just south of Wilson Bridge to CRJ at 1,200 feet, start from runway 33. This is French crew. American 1630 Tower, runway 1, lot boy, traffic through start from runway 33, dispatch 16 on funnel.
Runway 1.
Blue Chief 5307, keep rolling out to November, ground 47 today. American 1630 1 star 32014, gust 25, traffic 2 mile up base runway 33, no delay, runway 1 clear for immediate takeoff.
Number 1, clear for takeoff, American 1630.
Pass 25, get the CRJ in sight. Pass 25, pass behind the CRJ. Good separate.
American 4782 by Baton, Mount Vernon visual.
American 472, Washington Tower 1 star 32017.
Tower, did you see that?
American 472. American 3130, go around, turn left in 250, climb maintain 3000.
Okay, left heading 350, 3000, American 3130. Tower, Blue Streak 5347 is on final. Request runway 33, circle to 33.
So how did the tragedy unfold? Let's recreate the events in a realistic simulation to see what happened in detail. American Eagle Flight 5342, operated by PSA Airlines, is approaching Ronald Reagan Washington National Airport. The flight originated from Wichita Dwight D. Eisenhower National Airport in Kansas, departing at 17:38 hours. In command is Captain Jonathan Campos, aged 34, who has been flying with the airline for 6 years. The second in command is First Officer Samuel Lilly, aged 28, who has been flying with PSA for 2 years. On board are the 2 pilots, 2 cabin crew and 60 passengers, including US figure skating athletes, coaches and family members. The aircraft is a Bombardier CRJ-701ER, built in 2004, 20 years old. It's registered as N709PS and it's powered by General Electric CF34-8 C5 engines. It is 20:37 hours as they descend for the approach to runway 01. Meanwhile, at Davison Army Airfield in Fort Belvoir, 15 miles southwest of Washington, D.C., a U.S. Army Sikorsky H-60 Black Hawk, call sign PAT-25, is about to take off for a training flight. On board is Chief Warrant Officer 2 and pilot Andrew Lloyd Eves, age 39, who has served in the Army since 2014. Also on board are Staff Sergeant Ryan Austin O'Hara, aged 29, and a third soldier with the rank of captain. They are all part of Bravo Company 12th Aviation Battalion, based at Fort Belvoir. At 20:39, the Black Hawk takes off from Davison AAF. The flight is part of a routine annual retraining and readiness exercise. At 20:44 hours. Flight 5342 is already lined up with runway 01 and descending through 2,000 feet.
Tower with 5342 on Mount Vernon visual, runway 1.
Blue Chief 5342, Washington Tower 1 star 32017, gust 25, you take runway 33.
Yeah, we can do 33 for Blue Chief 5342.
Blue Chief 5342 at the Wilson Bridge, change to runway 33, clear to land.
Change to runway 33, runway 33 for land, Blue Chief 5342.
Flight 5342 will now have to perform a sidestep approach to land on the shorter runway 33. Meanwhile, the Black Hawk continues its training exercise along Route 1, following the Potomac River. This route takes them to Route 4, passing by Reagan National Airport and then the Woodrow Wilson Bridge.
Pass 25, traffic just off the Wilson Bridge is 0J at 1,200 feet, start runway 33. System bridge through.
Flight 5342 has already passed the Woodrow Wilson Bridge and is on a slight right turn to position for runway 33. Meanwhile, PAC 25 makes a right turn at 200 feet, still following the published helicopter Route 4. This takes them directly onto the course of Flight 5342. In the tower, the radar issues a warning. Less than 2 miles away, Flight 5342 begins its final left turn to align with runway 33.
Pass 25, get 0J in flight. Pass 25, pass line is 0J.
Let's not have an aircraft inside pressure separation.
System bridge through.
But despite the instruction, PAC 25 continues on course toward the CRJ. The situation becomes critical. This long-shot video recorded by the Kennedy Center cams seems to show 2 aircraft, a helicopter and a commercial airliner colliding, creating a huge flash. If you take a close-up shot, you can clearly see the Black Hawk helicopter traveling at an alarmingly high speed directly towards the plane, a moment of impending danger captured in stark detail. According to reports, the situation unfolded due to apparent confusion on the part of the Black Hawk pilot. It was seemingly unaware of the presence of a second aircraft in the vicinity, which ultimately led to a critical misjudgment. When the flight controller radioed in, asking if the pilot had identified Flight 5342, the pilot confidently confirmed that he had visual contact. However, the plane he was referring to wasn't Flight 5342. It was a completely different aircraft flying above his position. This misidentification proved costly. The pilot, certain he was operating safely, continued his course. Tragically, he ended up flying directly into the path of an oncoming aircraft. The sequence of events highlights the immense complexity and risks of aviation, where even small communication errors or lapses in situational awareness can lead to dangerous, life-threatening outcomes.